Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer and welcome to my channel and welcome to Trope Tuesday. I'm not really sure where this kind of was created from, but this was something I was doing when I was when I was posting on Instagram that I really liked. Mostly just to recommend books with specific tropes, but also to kind of talk about the books that are on my TBR with these tropes so that hopefully it reignites something that will make me pick them up sooner. I do plan on doing some recommendations outside of romance, but I think for right now these will probably be romance focused. This video is going to be one of my absolute favorite tropes, and that is fake dating. Today I have 4 recommendations and 4 books that are on my TBR. Up first is a book I actually just finished last night and I read it on KU, so I will try to remember to put a picture up. And that is Flirting with the Frenemy by Pippa Grant. This is a brother's best friend, fake dating, single father romance, which also checks a ton of my boxes. This is a story of Ellie, who is just dumped by her boyfriend on Christmas Eve, and she goes to her parents' house where she finds Wyatt, who's currently going through a divorce, and they're both just sad, and they end up hooking up. And after that, he tells her it's a mistake and she basically leaves and is in an accident. Flash forward 6 months later, they are brought together again for Ellie's best friend's wedding. Ellie already has a fake date, but Wyatt kind of puts himself into that position in a week-long ruse. As I mentioned, Wyatt is a single father who is who has come to this small town that they're just for the wedding with his son. This was really fun. I just kind of picked it up on a whim. It like came up on my Kindle scrolly thing and I was like, I want to read this, and it's in KU. So I'm really glad I did. I gave this book 4 stars. Next we have The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This is a new adult contemporary romance. This is book 1 in the off-campus series that follows 4 guys who are on the college hockey team and kind of live together. And this is my favorite in the series. This follows Hannah and Garrett. Hannah and Garrett both have a class together. Hannah is crushing on one of the guys in the class. Garrett needs help with his schoolwork, where they agree to the deal where Hannah will help Garrett with his schoolwork and Garrett will help Hannah kind of come out of her comfort zone and make her crush take notice. This is a book I've read a couple of times, and I think of the entire series is the one that I really enjoy kind of coming back to over and over again. I gave this book 5 stars. Next up, we have The Love Hypothesis by Ellie Hazelwood. This is a contemporary romance. I feel like everyone knows what this book about, but this book who follows Olive. So in order to convince her best friend that she's okay with her best friend dating her ex, tells her that she's out on these dates when really she's staying late at work. And one night she almost gets caught by her best friend, and kind of the first person she runs into, she just kisses, and that happens to be Adam Carlson. Adam is a professor and a bit of a grump, but decides that he will let everyone continue to believe that they're dating. I really liked seeing the demisexual representation on here because that is in here because it's not something I've seen. I can count, I think I've maybe read 2 other books with demi-rep. So it was really nice to see that. This was super fun, at times a bit emotional, at times a bit steamy. But this was definitely one of my top 3 books of 2021, and I'm excited to reread this at some point soon, especially because the author's next book is coming later this year. This is the Illumicrate version, which is just beautiful. This one, obviously 5 stars. And lastly, on the recommendations list, we have Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. This is a male-male contemporary rom-com. This follows Luke, who has a famous father, so he's kind of in the spotlight, but I can't remember exactly what happens, but he gets some like bad publicity. And in order to kind of clean up his reputation, Luke has been kind of instructed to get a boyfriend so that he like looks like he's got things going for him. Enter Oliver, who they know each other, he and Luke know each other from like a mutual friend who is also in need of a date. Like I said, they know each other through a friend, but they don't really get along. But they agree to be fake boyfriends until things become very, very real. This was my #1 book of 2021, so 5 stars. This will book that make you smile, and if there's one book off this list that you go and pick up on my recommendation, it's this one. The sequel to this book, Husband Material, comes out in August, and it's already been pre-ordered, and I'm very, very, very excited to give this a reread right before that one comes out. On to recommendations. The first one I have is The X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This is a sapphic contemporary romance. This is the story of two people who pretend to be exes for a radio show and then fall in love in the process, which I don't know anything else about this book, but that premise alone sounds really exciting. Next, we have The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. This is another contemporary romance. This follows Stella, who's 30, on the autism spectrum and doesn't really understand love or romance. She doesn't have an experience with it, so she hires an escort to kind of learn. And in the process, they enter a fake relationship. I don't know a ton else about this. This is the Literature Book Club pick for May, so I will be reading this soon. Next, we have Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is a contemporary romance about Dani, who agrees to fake date her friend after he rescues her from a building, and kind of they get some publicity off of that, and they kind of keep up appearances by pretending to be dating. I have not actually read any of Talia Hibbert. So I will be getting to this one soon, hopefully with the rest of the Brown sisters. And lastly, for my TBR, we have Written in the Stars by Alexandra Belfleur. This is another sapphic contemporary romance. This follows a woman who goes on a blind date. She's set up, I believe, by her brother, and it goes terribly wrong. But in order to stop people from matchmaking in her life, she tells everyone it goes well. Until then, she needs to rope in the other woman that she went on this date with. She must convince the other woman to kind of play along, because now everyone thinks they're dating. This reminds me of Life as You Know It with Katherine Heigl and Josh Duhamel. So that's really exciting, because that's one of my favorite rom-coms of all time. This also features the opposites of trope, and astrology, which is really exciting for me, and so I'm very excited to get to this. All right, here are the books that are on my recommendations and or TBR for the fake dating trope, plus Flirting with the Frenemy. Comment down below and let me know what your favorite book with fake dating is, because I'm always looking for more. Or let me know what other tropes you'd like to see recommended on my channel. Don't forget to like this video if you've liked it. And please give this a subscribe. That's everything for today's Trope Tuesday. We'll see you next week. Bye!